Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, Choteau County farmer Nathan Keane is currently in his second year serving on the National Association of Wheat Growers Board, having just moved into the treasurer position last week. Nathan and I caught up this week and talked about the many challenges farmers are facing. One of NAWG's big priorities is the Farm Bill. Farmers are operating on a 7-year-old Farm Bill in dire need of an updated version.
Some of the key elements that we have been pushing for probably the last 3 years is reference price. It's a little bit frightening now with looking at what the cost of production for wheat is versus what we can get per bushel for wheat currently. So the other side is crop insurance. That is such a good tool for farmers. So to be able to uphold that crop insurance for risk mitigation is just huge for us farmers.
Adding to the pressure that farmers are under is the current uncertainty from trade and tariffs. Nathan said it's just driving up input costs and driving down grain prices.
Looking for quote for fertilizer on our farm, before there was any tariff talk, we were looking at for urea about $4.50 a ton. There started to be rumors of tariffs, and that climbed up to about $4.80 a ton, and now there's tariffs on, and I'm looking at upwards of $5.90 a ton or higher. And so where there's already uncertainty, where we already have commodity prices going down, now input prices going up, it's going to be a tight squeeze.
Well, in other news, the second case of foot and mouth disease has been reported in Europe this year. The latest case found in cattle in Hungary. It was the first case in the country in over 50 years. Now, back in January, a case of FMD was found in water buffalo in Germany. The two countries don't share a border, though, and the affected animals are nearly 500 miles apart. FMD affects cloven-hooved animals like cattle, sheep, and pigs. It's very contagious in livestock, but does not pose a human health risk. Well, after the meeting of the Make America Healthy Again Commission, Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that they're collaborating to review and potentially revise dietary guidelines that were released by the Biden administration last fall. Now, in that review, they're going through line by line the dietary guidelines. The Biden-era version drew criticism from the livestock industry as it suggested plant proteins should replace animal protein in the diets of Americans. Secretary Rollins said they want to implement policies that promote healthy families, but said the guidelines need to be based on sound science, not politics. And a bipartisan coalition of lawmakers has introduced legislation that would allow farmers making more than $900,000 a year to participate in federal disaster aid programs. Now, right now, the way that the law reads is that if a producer makes more than that money, they can't participate, but this change would allow producers to be included in that if their adjusted gross income's over $900,000. To qualify, though, producers would need to receive at least 75% of their income from farming or ranching. The reason the change is proposed is due to the effects of hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and drought, so the lawmakers are trying to open up aid with $20 billion in assistance expected to come later this year. Well, thanks for joining us for our Ag News. Stick around and we'll be back with the markets.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, after 4 days of higher movements in the cattle futures, feeders did settle slightly lower. But at one point yesterday, that August feeder contract was up more than $3, touching $2.88. That's a $20 gain in over a month. Now, as we look at this market, there's a lot of optimism. Ranchers just enjoying the ride and wondering where the top is. For a long time, it was 280s on the feeders, but now your guess is as good as mine. Cash cattle trade has yet to break loose, but the futures clearly banking on higher cash. Of course, the market was higher last week, and now rising box beef prices are aiding the market as well. It's been a record-setting week in the bull sale market. Cooper Herefords in Willow Creek averaged $15,731 with a sale top of $120,000. And in Dillon, Sitz Angus had 250 bulls, averaged $12,208, and 182 commercial replacements, averaging $26,004. In Torrington, feeders sold $2 to $4 higher this week. Your light 6-weight steers from $335 to $349, 7 to 7.5 weights $310 to $319, and those 650 to 750 pound heifers $290 to $315. Real quickly, the weigh-up market continues to work higher. At Pays this week, the cows were selling $3 to $8 better, vast majority from $145 to $160. And the grain market finally got cheap enough to encourage some buying. Prices had been beaten up by USDA reducing estimates for U.S. wheat exports and increasing their import forecasts, which raised ending stocks. Then retaliatory tariffs from the EU sent the market down again. Now, a proposed ceasefire in the Russian-Ukraine war could be supportive to the market, but right now the grain is awash with uncertainty, and of course, that's something markets do not like at all. Thanks for joining us for this morning's report. I'm Coulter Brown. Enjoy your Friday.